I was in the middle of my morning routine where I dunk my head in a bowl of iced water, squeeze a lemon in my eye, and then drive by the orphanage so that I can experience gratitude as I had a loving family growing up. And I get home feeling rejuvenated to see that my girl was on her PC, somehow playing GTA 6 early. To my surprise, it wasn't in fact the hotly anticipated sequel in the Grand Theft Auto franchise, but a game called Inzoi, and I just knew I had to make a video on this scuffed gem. First thing I have to do is create my family. I start with the child of the house, named Thick Man. He's a chubby little killer. I then create his father, and I model him based off my friend Stealtho Mato. This guy looks exactly like Mato does in real life, except Mato has slightly shorter hair, is a touch skinnier, and isn't black. I then give Mato 3 diverse honeys to live with. Mato's side piece, Mato's other side piece, and of course Mato's third side piece. It's a real nuclear family. We move into our new block, and my first task is to create a home that we can make memories in. Just like when you go home with a fat girl at 4 AM, I take the easy option and proceed to place a pre-built house. I do, however, build young Thick Man his own private room. I wouldn't say I'm great at interior decorating, as it kind of looks like a psych ward. I head off into the world to see what this adorable little neighborhood has to offer. I run into a man and choose to greet him informally, which he does not take kindly to. The man appreciates old-fashioned formalities, I respect that. Thick Man is eager to learn, so fingers crossed the place doesn't get shut up right away. If it does though, I hope they put a silencer on when they enter the library as to not distract the people reading. I realise it's 8 AM on a Sunday, so I'm extremely early. I get the little G to take a nap on the park bench outside. Thick Man is going places. Probably not college, but places. I switch back to Mato, who's at the crib chilling with the girls. I approach side piece 1 and choose the option to set the mood next to the bed. We've got to capitalise on the house being child-free with some sweet, tender loving. As he makes his move, side piece 1 proceeds to brutally reject his advance. Even in this simulation where I can control all of the characters, I still get rejected. Like many of my fallen male comrades, I rebound out of this rejection by becoming a crypto bro and heavily investing the family's finances into various coins that influencers and washed athletes said were a good shout. While my money works for me, I begin rizzing up Latina side piece 2. This time, rather than immediately asking for some sugar, I actually flirt a little bit. I compliment her outfit to make her feel special, even though it's disingenuous. It's not just the tacky leopard print. I actually consider myself a progressive person, but I do strongly believe all women should wear burqas so they don't get sunburn and develop melanomas. Things are going swimmingly as no women can resist Mato's aura. Meanwhile, Thick Man returns from his nap to eat a comically large bowl of ice cream. I'm all for body positivity, but this little malacca is a few corn dogs away from type 2 diabetes. If it comes down to a financial choice between insulin and a new flat screen TV, this kid best start making peace with kidney failure. I plan a date with Latina side piece 2 at the location of the skate park. Skate parks are the best place for dates. I actually had my first ever kiss at a skate park. I just wish it was with a cute girl and not a homeless guy. While we walk to our date location, I switch back to side piece 2 and she's playing a game on the computer. She's playing War Thunder. With economic trade tariffs spreading like herpes at the Olympic Training Village, given tensions brewing between the world superpowers are at an all-time high, and considering Australia is sitting down here wondering if people actually know we exist, we're historically due for a world war. What better way to prepare for your inevitable looming conscription than by playing War Thunder? Thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. It's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made and is available now for free on PC, consoles and mobiles. That's right, you can practice killing the people your country used to trade with via a smartphone while you sit on the toilet. Take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters and ships of 10 major nations. They range from biplanes from the 1920s to modern fighter jets and battle tanks. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics and authentic sound effects place you right at the helm of the most powerful war machines. Seriously, plug 5 hours into this game and when the nukes start dropping in a couple of months, you'll just sit back and smile. Join a global community of 70 million players in legendary PvP battles today and delve into the breathtaking experience that is War Thunder. With so much content, there's simply no better game suited for fans of military history or military future. For real, start making peace with your loved ones and maybe take a punt on a religion for that juicy afterlife in preparation for World War III. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox or mobile devices now by using the link in the pinned comment or video description. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions and 7 days of premium account. No more games for her though, as if she can't consummate the relationship, then she has to do all the chores. One of my female friends, Lucy, said she likes my videos but thinks my jokes can be a little sexist and I should make fun of men more to balance the scales. At least I think that's what she was trying to say. I tend to zone out when women yap, as the intellectual gap makes conversations mundane. The location for the date is simply perfect. There's no aphrodisiac like kids crashing razor scooters and stoners trying to land a kickflip for 3 hours. I think Marto is starving to death, which isn't ideal, but he might be eating something else shortly. The vibes are good, but then this gorgeous specimen with abs rocks up and tries to steal my girl. Women love an insecure crash out, so I yell at him and the Calvin Klein model proceeds to run off. Best date of my life. I switch back to the crib and side piece 1 is on her PC again. Jesus Christ, touch some grass. I send her to the kitchen to cook food, ready for when Marto gets back from his red hot date. Side piece 1 has really stepped up on the domestic duties. She's making pancakes, which is ironic, as every day is pancake day with side piece 1 around. I keep cooking meal after meal. So when Marto asks her to toss the salad, it's all headaches and I'm too tired, but now she's found all the enthusiasm in the world. I cook up an absolute storm and side piece 1 is proud of her effort, as she should be. The problem is, with Latina side piece 2 and Marto's relationship blossoming, I'm just not sure if the current household dynamic will result in a healthy environment for young thick men to grow up and flourish in. I run the lass outside, build her a small cage, and trap her in the yard out of harm's way. I test the cell to ensure it's airtight. I can't let a jealous ex ruin Marto's future. Marto enjoys his meal, as I do quite frankly a fantastic job of managing his various needs, which there are a lot of. He even gets to watch side piece 3 use the toilet while he eats his dinner. Absolute cinema. I go on to have one last crack at a conjugal visit, but these two clearly have an extremely toxic relationship. There is a lot of animosity, but I come up with a good solution. I add a mirror outside the cell so that side piece 1 can metaphorically and literally reflect on her attitude. This seems to trigger some sort of emotional existential crisis, which I believe is healthy. You've got to break people down before you build them back up again. As a byproduct of these events, Marto must now step up and be the good father young thick man desperately needs. I get him to throw out the trash and do the dishes. He doesn't actually wash the dishes, he just puts them in the bin. Crockery is expensive. There hasn't been this much waste since Stalin sent 1.1 million soldiers to their death during the Battle of Stalingrad. These dodgy Zoys have free will if I don't control them for a minute, and Marto decides to go into the bathroom and watch his kid take a dump. Look, I'm not going to pretend to know if this is normal parenting, but I feel like after age 5 this is a solo experience. With the groundwork laid, I prepare to shoot my shot with Latina side piece 2. I take a long soak in the tub. I buy lots of pot plants because women love pot plants. Trust me, if you went to the pub for one drink and came back at 4 AM cooked out of your mind and your girl is cranky about it in the morning, just buy her a pot plant and it's like you never blew the weekly grocery budget on a bag of fun. Speaking of, we're officially broke. It wasn't so much the pot plants, but rather the man cave I built for myself out the back. Maybe 4 flat screens was a bit excessive, but how can Marto truly blossom as a man if he doesn't have a safe space to recharge? It's time to make my move on Latina side piece 2. I guess the news of the dire financial situation travelled quickly as she proceeds to sprint away from the household into the night. This is a tough emotional blow for Marto and leaves him with his back up against the wall and only one option: to call the Citizenship and Immigration Department and get her deported. Unfortunately, Inzoy doesn't have that as an option yet. It's coming as part of the MAGA DLC. Unsure what to do next, I just send Marto to bed. A good night's rest will ensure he's the best version of himself tomorrow. Side piece 1 seems to be starving to death. Intermittent fasting is actually great for your health, so I feel like this will be good for her. On the other end of the spectrum, young thick man is of course eating again, ensuring that he will be relentlessly bullied tomorrow on his first day of school. I speed up time while everyone sleeps. At 2 AM, Marto wakes up to seize the day. You love to see that rise and grind mentality. I have a nutritious breakfast and then visit side piece 1 to see how her night was. It's safe to say relations have soured further, as Marto even threatens to hit her. Inzoy didn't strike me as the kind of game to tease domestic violence. These two are probably at the point where they need couples therapy, but I just know the therapist is going to take her side because I locked her in a cage. Latina side piece 2 comes back home from wherever she's been. Probably dealing drugs with a cartel or mowing lawns. Who knows, but I shoot my shot and she says, yes, I would love to make sweet tender love to you, Mato. They proceed to consummate the relationship and it's beautiful. Mato lasts 45 seconds, which is not just impressive, it's king behavior. They call Mato the silver medal because he always finishes second. The side piece 3 was in the room the whole time, which is odd. Capitalizing on his post-nut clarity and taking into account we can barely afford to keep the lights on, I begin applying for jobs. There's some boring looking ones, but then Mato joins a street gang the way I assume it happens in the real world, via a formal LinkedIn application. 8 AM Monday morning, which means only one thing. It's time for Thick Man's first day at school. He's got his adorable little pink backpack on, stacked with everything he'll need to learn and thrive. His textbooks, a lunchbox, his pencil case, and a Kevlar vest. I enter the school and it appears that Thick Man will be doing his learning off camera. I'm actually quite proud of him. That little trooper is growing up so fast. Back at the crib and everything seems blissful as the two lovebirds enjoy a meal together. I choose the option to set the mood by the bed again and I'm rejected by the illegal alien. In a healthy relationship, it's important to take rejection well and empathize with your partner's physical rhythm. Things go from bad to worse as I get a notification that Thick Man is being bullied at school. I blame the mothers. They've been quite absent in the young man's life. It's time to see if side piece 3 is the woman that can give Mato the support he needs. I switch to her and it takes me back to the school. It's at this moment I realise that side piece 3 is in fact not a woman but an underage teenage student. Super glad we didn't try and set the mood next to the bed with her. Mato can't get bogged down with his emotions right now as this dire financial situation isn't going to solve itself. My first West Side hustler shift isn't for a few days, so I'll need to get creative. I run out onto the road in a stunning and brave attempt to commit insurance fraud, but it becomes apparent that this game doesn't condone graphic vehicular manslaughter. You can't get hit by a car, but insinuating domestic violence is kosher. I guess you have to draw the line somewhere. I make my way down to the beach, desperate for a cash opportunity, and then I find it. I proceed to steal money from the tip jar. A victimless crime. Except for the chick who is working here, I guess. $407 just like that. As I flee the scene, the police arrive and they are not happy. They say they're going to take me to prison, which at least is a good resume buffer for my new role as a West Side hustler. Prisons are actually insane. You can't just lock people up in cage cells like this, it's inhumane and objectively bad for rehabilitation. I switch to the side pieces and they are bonding and probably gossiping about Mato. Gossiping only reveals the insecurities of the gossiper, not the truth about the person being gossiped about. I speed up time because all my characters are either in various prisons or schools, so there's really not much I can do. Finally, some good news, as after school Thick Man makes his first friend. This is the feel-good moment the family needs to springboard into a new healthy chapter. The sun shines a little brighter, the air feels a little crisper, and everything seems like it's going to be okay. The duality of life kicks in almost immediately as side piece 1 passes away due to malnutrition. It seems I left her in her cage for a little bit too long, but I placed some flowers on her grave out of respect. In contrast to side piece 1 who ate nothing, I eat my pride and let Latina side piece 2 out so she doesn't die too. Despite also flirting with starvation, she doesn't go straight to the fridge, she just runs. Young Thick Man could take notes. Maybe if he skipped the odd meal and did some cardio, he wouldn't get bullied so much. I follow side piece 2 for a while, but she is out of here. The big girl gets on a bus to God knows where, as I'm sure she reflects on why she even crossed the border in the first place. The bittersweet moments keep raining down as I celebrate the high of Mato finally being released from the pen, followed by Thick Man getting bullied by the very little nipper he thought he was friends with, which just makes it sting more. This is a growth moment. It's important in life to accept that you can't get on with everyone. You will never reach higher ground if you are always pushing others down. Starving a child to death in a cage feels like a moral issue, but he did call Thick Man hurtful names. Mato heads off to work for his first shift as a West Side hustler. It's an exciting moment for the family as our income streams have been non-existent. What does he get for a full day's work? $360. Less than I got from the tip jar. On top of that, Thick Man breaks the fridge. I'm starting to see why Biggie McSmalls gets bullied so much. This kid sucks. Who let bro listen to Lizzo? Every time this town has an earthquake, it's just Snorlax hopping out of bed. I pause the game and notice there's a money cheat. I don't want to ruin the gameplay experience as grinding for money is a big part of the game, but I do desperately need a little cash, so I use the cheat 100 times to give myself $10 million. With this $10 million, I'm able to afford my dream car, a Hyundai Azera sedan. Given everything that's happened, I figure a soothing night drive is exactly what the doctor ordered. Whenever I'm stressed late at night, I hop behind the wheel, play a banger, and just cruise. I attempt to kill a few pedestrians, but it's unclear if they're actually dying or if they're just disappearing. It really bothers me, so I set up a litmus test to make certain I know what's really happening here. I turn off Side Piece 3's free will and run her out onto the road so she stands still. I then drive at her full pace in the Hyundai Azera sedan. Side Piece 3 proceeds to pass away due to an unfortunate traffic accident. I'm dropping women faster than OJ. To make up for 2 of the family members dying, I decide to completely demolish the house and build a mega mansion. It's honestly some of my finest architectural work. Sure, it might not have a roof because I couldn't figure that part out, and yes, I had to build the lounge room around a child in a cage, but overall this isn't a house, it's a home. I fast forward through the night, and in the morning we get some truly great news. Side Piece 2 has returned. Wow, so as soon as Mato has $10 million, a mansion, and especially a Hyundai, she suddenly forgets about the 2 murders. Money really can buy you true love. Given options A and C are deceased, I propose to Latina Side Piece 2, and she says yes. This is the happiest day of Mato's life. To celebrate this monumental occasion, I get in the whip and go for a drive. I decide why not run over a few of the local residents again, as it's a celebration. Plus, the police here are sinking most of their department's resources into petty tip jar theft. Hit and runs and trapping humans in cages doesn't seem like a huge focal point for the PD at this present moment. I drive around running over everyone I can find. It seems the more pedestrians I kill, the more the entire city becomes decrepit as crime rates rise. I single-handedly turn a blossoming, flourishing neighborhood into a post-apocalyptic hellhole. As I cruise up behind another Hyundai, I believe every car here is a Hyundai, I rear-end another driver, and I guess Mato wasn't wearing his seatbelt. Stealtho Mato has passed away due to a traffic accident. Why do bad things happen to good people? I build a stunning memorial for Mato with so many plants and a cage with cast iron bars to symbolize the strength he brought to this family. The thick man weeps at his father's grave. It's actually really sad. When the poor kid is at school, he's getting bullied, and when he's at home, his loved ones are dying. The Side Piece 2 now has to raise the tot as a single mum in a bad neighborhood where the crime rate is insanely high. Given I still have like $9.7 million, I decide to try and cheer the family up. I place a flat screen TV on literally every wall so they can avoid grieving and processing their emotions by enjoying several movies at once. As I turn on each and every TV, a fire starts. I let them do the free will and watch them panic as they try to escape the raging heat, but all the windows, doors, and exit points have been covered by flat screen TVs. I make peace with my family's fate. Latina Side Piece 2 and Child Thick Man both burn alive. A truly horrific way to go. Although probably still better than being left in the elements to starve to death like Side Piece 2, so it's a matter of perspective. A message appears notifying me that I have no family members left alive and am transported to the city view where I see the absolute disgusting neighborhood I have tainted. If I could do it all again, I would make the cages further apart so my side pieces couldn't gossip about Mato. Like the video if you enjoyed. Thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. It's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made and is available now for free on PC, consoles and mobiles. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions and 7 days of premium account. Check out Papa Pelly for more videos. Thanks for watching. I love you.